Herspiration Happy Hour.
Woo! Happy Thursday instead of Wednesday, like we normally do.
I know, right?
Yes. Normally it is, on Wednesday, but yesterday, due to some power outages and technical difficulties, we had to record today versus yesterday, which is still good because our guests, of course, we do like to accommodate our guests sometimes. And she's a very special person to us. So you know what? We didn't mind. Although we don't have our other member here, this is your unapologetic diva, Dr. G.
And this is Radio Red Louisa. And the drink that I have for us was supposed to be for yesterday, since yesterday was Cinco de Mayo, but that's okay. We can drink today too. We we have a spicy pink Paloma.
Oh, I like the sound of that.
It and the spicy part of it is for Cinco de Mayo because they have two versions.
Okay.
So you have tequila, a freshly squeezed grapefruit juice, a grapefruit soda like Fresca, sliced jalapeno, a slice of grapefruit, peak Himalayan salt, and cayenne, and a pinch of cayenne pepper and ice. So what you do
Okay.
is you rub the tall glass with the grapefruit slice, and then you rub it in the salt and the pepper. So you rim it with the salt and the pepper. Then you add the ice to the glass, pour in the tequila, the grapefruit juice, add jalapeno, and then top it off with the grapefruit soda.
Okay.
So for the mocktail, and then of course, if you don't want the spice, you can always take the cayenne pepper out or the jalapeno out.
Mm-hmm.
But for the mocktail, instead of tequila, we would use simply limeade because usually the palomas are made with lime and grapefruit soda. So
Okay.
you can use the limeade, grapefruit juice, the grapefruit soda, and you can still put the jalapeno and then the cayenne, the pepper salt and everything if you want it. Yeah.
Okay. So it's Thursday now, and how has your week been?
It's been kind of weird, not in a bad way, but it's just been kind of weird, I guess. Monday, myself and AI and uh Jay went and we signed our lease for our studio, so we got our studio now. Red Vision
Yay!
Studios. It's going to be out Beltsville, which is really Greenbelt, but it's going to be in Beltsville. And we get our keys June 1st, so soon we'll be talking about open house. So that's been really cool. And outside of that, the norm, helping with school and feeding children and breaking up fights and all that good stuff. Yeah. So, how was your week?
It's good. You see, I'm recovering. I'm like, I feel like I burned a little bit, but I'm tan. I'm like
Really?
so tan. Yeah, I'm so tan. Um, I was hanging out in Tampa, but right before that, I went to Georgia. So I got to see a lot of classmates that I had a chance to or opportunity to see in like some of them over 20 years. I'm really dating myself at this point, on the age, but I don't care about that. But I got to see so many people that I have not seen in years, and just to see how remarkable everyone is doing. And just, it was such a lively time there. And then, of course, I went to Tampa 2 days after I got back from Savannah. And I tell you what, it was hot, super hot. You could see hot,
Oh, I
hot,
know it
hot,
was. It
hot,
was hot up
hot.
here. I know it was scorching down there.
It was, it's an understatement. So I did do the beach, although classic me, as if I'm very accident prone. I'll say that. In my taking picture moments, I fell, scraped up my thigh, my feet. I cut my foot also. So needless to say, and yeah, it didn't. Yeah, that was a little bit of a sore spot on the trip, but my feet still hurt, but I'm good. I felt damaged I fell on my birthday, if you remember, and I really messed myself up.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
remember.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, but this time it wasn't as bad. My feet still hurt a little bit, but I'm good. Outside of that, I guess, I finally did put out that uh, My
I
children's
know.
book will
I
be
saw it and I was
dropping.
like, oh,
I know. It's so super dope. So, you know, I'm excited about June 3rd, and June is going to be a really good month. You
yeah.
got your studio. I have my book. I have to see what Cortina has going on. We miss you,
I'm
Cortina.
sure she do. Yes, we do. I'm sure she got something going
Yes.
on.
So we got to find out what she has going on, because we're going to be celebrating big time on our podcast in June, the first one. Uh, so let's get the topic started, because we have a guest coming through today, Cadori. She's an author, and she talks about her life. And I don't know, did you get a chance to read a little bit? I have her
Uh
book
huh.
over here somewhere.
I did.
Yeah, her book is somewhere over here amongst my on my
I think it's
bookshelf.
a couple of books. Women Put Yourself First and Be Happier.
Mm-hmm.
And then she has another one coming out. I'm not sure if it's out already. Where's the other one?
Yeah, I know I have one here. She signed.
It's
I gotta.
another one she has coming out though. If it's
Yeah,
not already
it's
out.
the.
Oh, Love Yourself First, then That's Happiness.
Yeah, that's the one that I have.
Yeah.
That's the one that I have. That's her most current book, and she talks about her struggles and her trials. So it's really going to be interesting to talk to her about all of those things. When they talk about happiness, what does happiness mean to you when you hear it?
Happiness to me, I think it's just being free of worry and doubt, and even if you have stressors, just being able to breathe.
Okay. I think for me, happiness is it's an abundance of things. And it has nothing to do with work or anything. I think it's just that internal feeling of authenticity that I have, that I feel as though no matter how my day goes, I'm going to try to find that moment in it that's going to be a part and just give me that happiness and that joy that I constantly feel. But so happiness to me is just being complete and feeling complete and walking in my faith. I think that for me is just being happy. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's just a lot of people kind of. I think for the most part, some people I guess don't know. I think some people think items, materials make them happy, and
Mm-hmm.
realize once you get them that doesn't make you happy. It's kind of like
Yeah.
a false sense of happiness in a way. That's just like people with so much money, and then things happen with them, and you're like, oh, they should be happy. They got all this money, they got these houses, they got these cars, but that's not what makes you happy. It's when it's an inside development of that makes you happy. And when you're happy inside, no matter what's going on outside, you'll always be happy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I love that you said like that false sense of happiness that people have sometimes. And I think that false sense is often because they tie it to people and things. When you tie your happiness to people and things, it's hard to be in that genuine place all the time, because you can't control
Yeah.
those things. Although you can control if you well, not even really that, because you can buy expensive things and they can get ruined, things can happen. So definitely, I never tie my happiness to those two things. It's always internal. And we have our guest here with us a little early. So I'm going to
Oh,
bring
that's
her
good.
on. I know I'm going to bring her on.
Well, hello, lovely
Hello,
lady.
hello.
How are
Oh, are you
you?
just beautiful?
Thank you. Hi, how are you all?
Great, great, great.
We're good.
Miss Cadori, can you introduce yourself to our viewers and tell a little bit about yourself?
Yes, hi. Thank you all for having me. My name is Cadori. I'm an author. I have a newly published book that came out the end of 2020, and it made number one Amazon bestseller in February. It's titled Ladies, Love Yourselves First. That's Happiness. It's an inspirational book for women, about my life story and all the women I've been around. I'm an motivational speaker. I'm also a registered nurse by profession. And yes, I did work through the pandemic.
All right now.
Yes.
So I had just asked Louisa about the question, how does she define happiness? So I'm asking you now, how do you define happiness? What does happiness mean to you?
Happiness to me, the new me, because I'm a new me since I went through a divorce and had to do some mental health therapy for about a year.
Mm-hmm.
So the new me just means happiness to me means being centered, being in tune with who I am, and just really walking in my purpose and my truth. So
Mm-hmm.
it's more self awareness to me is where I get my happiness from.
Okay, okay. And so when you were writing your book, share some of the experiences because you just said you are a new person. Is that did that new feeling about of who you are now, did that come from writing your book, or you already had that and that's why you wrote your book?
It just came from some of my experiences, and then also as I was writing the book. Because as anyone knows who writes a book, especially if you write it and tell your truth, it's very cathartic because you have to go back to certain places and certain times in your life, and you can be happy in some chapters and crying in the other ones, and that's what happened to me. But yeah, so my book just talks about different challenges I went through in my life, which some of the major challenges I went through was being in two domestic violence marriages, some physical, but mostly financial and mental. The mental is what sticks with you the longest term. Just
Absolutely.
yeah, just not, really loving myself and putting up and tolerating a lot of things that I wouldn't dare tolerate now. But when you're unhealed from, some childhood traumas, I talk about that in my book, and then you start going out and getting into relationships, a lot of times you'll attract what's not healed, which I didn't know that, earlier, but I know that now. So just going through and writing it, that made me happy, but also just my life experiences and just becoming, the kind of person that I am now.
Okay, ooh, that's so deep.
Yeah.
So and you said you cried through some of your chapters
Yeah.
and all of that, is it because you had to now relive a lot of the things that you were going through and had been through? And then the second part to that question is, when you went back, did you have any moments of accountability for any of it?
hmm Yes, I did. On your self-love, self-healing journey, you do have to take accountability. It's not about blaming other people. It's about actually looking at yourself in the mirror and owning up to things that you maybe didn't know or things you did know and ignore it. But yeah, writing the chapters, I had to go back and relive it. But also some things, that are traumatic for you, you kind of bury them. You don't even think about them. You survived it. You're an adult now. You're living your life differently. But now, when you go back to tell a story, to try to help yourself heal more and help other people, you do have to go back and relive that. So yeah, some of it is painful, but I think when you cry and you work through it, you come out better.
Okay. Oh yeah, you do. Look, trust me, I did it already once myself when I put my
Ooh,
book out there, my first one.
ooh,
It's a different level of journey
yes.
when you're having to write and be reflecting
hmm
on the decisions that you made that got you in certain predicaments, and
Yes.
why, it's almost as if there's a personal blame.
Yes.
Even though you know that there are things that you could not control, but what you could have controlled
Yeah.
at the time, you
Yeah.
weren't vocal about.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yes. So how has that transformation been for you, because you have children? So how has that transformation been for your kids?
All of my kids are adults, thankfully, but they're still your children. And sometimes dealing with, sorry about that. Sometimes some things are even worse when you're grown up children, just
Yeah.
because they're grown, but they still were with you and that parent all that time. So a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times they have their emotions too. So what they've told me is that they're happy that I'm happy, and they can see that I'm relieved because I'm not in, a marriage and situation where I wasn't appreciated, because the kids see all that when they're living in
Mm-hmm.
the house, even though they love their other parent as well. They still saw you suffer some years that you shouldn't have suffered because you were in a situation that, just trying to pretty much fake it to make it, pretty much, because you're married. But they're happy overall. They're happy that I'm able to live my purpose, and that, they see that I'm happy and I'm not, I don't carry this burden and this weight around that I used to carry before. So overall, they're really happy about it.
Oh, nice, nice, nice.
Yeah, that's really good. Do you because this book that came out December is your because you have a cookbook as well, but this is your third book,
This is
right?
my third book. This is probably the bigger one. The other two I kind of self-published. This one I went through a publishing company. So yeah, this is my third book. The first book I did 8-9 years ago. It's a cookbook. I did a compilation of recipes that I've made, in addition to my coworkers
Okay.
from all over the world, because I'm a nurse, so I work with doctors and nurses everywhere.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I still have that. And then the first book I did, it was a self empowerment book for women as well. But this one was more detailed. That one was not really about my life or
Okay.
about situations, different things that I heard of. But this one is my real life stories that I tell in there.
So, when in writing this book,
Mm-hmm.
do you think, or did you think that in writing this you would help so many people, or were you just writing it to? I'm sure to pour out your heart for one, because when we write, that's what we do,
Yeah.
and to kind of free yourself from holding on to all of that. Did you think, and I'm pretty sure you have talked to women or maybe men that says that you helped them, that you touched them, that you moved them and made them move, from reading your book.
Mm-hmm.
Did you, like, in the back of your mind kind of have that intention of helping others, or did you think it would help as many people that it possibly have helped?
I did. And the reason why is because, by me being a nurse, I've been in healthcare for over 25 years. I've been a registered nurse for 23 years. So when you're a nurse, what a lot of people don't know is that when people come to hospitals or doctor's offices, they end up talking to the nurse, telling them a lot of their life story that has to
Yeah,
do with
I
what.
know.
So during the course of these years, I've had many, many women, especially, tell me the same stories over and over again from different cultures, different backgrounds, different income levels. And what I found was that a lot of women were going through a lot of the same things. We
Mm-hmm.
oftentimes put everybody else ahead of ourselves, our kids, our jobs, our spouses, our mates. And then when we hit 35, 40 or so, and the kids are leaving the house, now we're looking around like, well, who am I? And you
Mm-hmm.
their lives into everybody else and fill their cups up, and your cup is bone dry. So I kept seeing that happening, and it was true for my life as well. So I said, you know what, women need so much inspiration and empowerment, some men too, but I really believe that women need it even more because we're mothers, we're the natural nurturers. And once you heal that woman, that heals generations to come, because we're the ones that's mostly raising the children even when we're married.
Mm, yeah. So, what did you learn about yourself as you wrote this book?
What I learned about myself, I would say the main thing that I learned about myself was that I have been a very tolerable person as far as what the average person would tolerate with people. Like, I gave people so many chances to really run over me and back over me and run over me again, which I know plenty
Mm,
would never do that. After the first and second time, they're like done. I gave people so many chances, and when I was writing it down and looking at it, I'm like, wow, I was really good to a lot of people for a long time, but hey, their game is up now. I'm still a kind person, but I'm very selective. I'm very selective now.
yeah, you are in control of how you allow people to treat you.
Yes,
Mm-hmm. Oh
absolutely.
yeah, that's so important too because they all and they what's the saying? Um, what's
What
the saying that they
how,
have?
you teach people how to treat you too. If
Yeah,
you,
you teach people how to treat
yeah,
you, but but it's like it's gonna come to me. It's surely gonna come to me.
Don't you
So
hate that it's like right there, and
I
then when
know.
it's
yeah,
gone?
it is little on the tip of my tongue. It
Yeah.
is about how people allowing people to treat you how you want to be treated or something
Right.
to that effect. And
Oh,
but you
treat
can
people the way
control.
you wish to be treated,
Well, no, because
or
you can control the way. You can't control people, but you can control the way that they treat
Yeah.
that they treat you. I
Yeah.
guess you could say. Boy,
Hmm.
I got to get it right today.
I understand what you're saying.
Yes. Okay. Oh yeah, it is. Mother's Day is coming up, so that's a yeah, it is a great
Yeah,
conversation for Mother's Day,
it is.
especially being a mom. And
Hmm.
what do you hope your kids took away from this book, being that that will help them live in their authentic truth?
I just for my kids as well as anybody else that reads the book, I hope that they, well, I raised my kids a certain way and instilling a lot of self care into them that I didn't have instilled in me when I was growing up. So I did that. I did that raising them. Although I wasn't living it myself, I was always telling them, be proud of who you are. There's only one you on the planet. The main thing I wanted people to come out of this with is that nobody can live the purpose that God gave for you. And I always
Mm,
push my kids to live their truth and live their dreams, and they've been able to express those to me. I don't force them to do things like, how a lot of parents will say, you better go to college. And I've seen the flip side of that too, being a nurse. I've seen kids try to commit suicide. I've seen kids do all kinds of stuff because they just didn't want to be there, or they were at a super huge university and their style would have been a more private university, but
mm,
because they were just told to go to college, it's almost like they were forced. And then you get them out here in the workforce and they hate their jobs. They hate everything about it. So I think at some point as parents, you do have to listen to your children and what they think that they're supposed to be doing with their life, because it is their life. I'm not talking about running the street, but I'm talking about as far as who they're supposed to be and what they're supposed to be. So I hope my kids and anybody else gets out of that be your whole authentic self. You know what the gifts are and the purpose that God gave you. They're inside of you.
mhm,
They're not inside of me. My gifts are inside of me. And you have to be able to articulate that and walk in that unapologetically, really.
mhm. So what about validation? Because that's a lot of what you're sitting here saying, is that you have to validate what it is that you want, what it is that you don't want, and stand in that.
Right.
So what does that now look like for you? Because of self-validation means everything.
Hmm. What it means for me now is I really don't, it just means that I don't really give a damn what people think about me. I'm sorry. I mean, I just really don't.
Hold up. Say that
I
again.
don't
Say that again.
I don't self-validation mean I don't give a damn what people think about me anymore. I don't, because I've seen everything. I've taken care of people that were homeless. I've taken care of millionaires in their home. And trust me, the only difference in people is the amount of money they got. Because some of these people with money, they have messed up families as well. Kids on drugs, they didn't turn out to do nothing with their life either. So I've seen everything. And then I've lived a life where, nobody has the perfect upbringing, but I was lacking a lot of things when I was raised. And then, then I fed, there you have a marriage over there, two marriages where all types of infidelity and crap was going on. So I've just gotten to the point to where I feel like I'm the only me on the planet. You're the only you. Guess what? If we're the only ones on the planet, then we have to be ourselves and we have to live our life out loud. Nobody else can come in and dictate to us what we're supposed to be doing. And at the point I am in my life now, if somebody tried to dictate it to me, depending on how they came at, they might get cursed out.
That's what I'm talking about. Like,
No,
mind
and
your
no
business.
holds barred, no holds
Sheesh.
barred anymore at
I'm
Yeah,
at
all.
that place now too. It took a
yeah,
while, and I'm not. It took a good little while. Now I have 5 children.
I do too.
I
Yeah,
know. I was
yeah,
gonna go there with
She said
and
she has
so it's
5.
it's
yeah,
and it's like you have to teach them to be themselves.
yes.
And even though you hear that all the time, it's hard to do that because you want to have friends, you want to, be personable, but people will love you for who you are. And if they don't, that's their
That's
business.
their business.
Mhm.
That's their problem.
And I teach my children that all the time. And I had to learn that because I'm the oldest, so I always had to take care of everybody and how everybody felt about me. It mattered to me. And now I'm like, y'all grown, get on my face.
That's,
And, so,
I think that's
so
how the oldest ones do. I'm one of the oldest. I'm the oldest girl. My brother's older than me, but we had to help
okay.
our kids. Yeah,
Yeah. And they be all right. I had to learn that.
they will be.
But so speaking of children and your charity, um, you have one named after your son.
Hmm.
How and I was reading it. I was just I smiled. It's amazing, and I'm my condolences to you on your loss of your baby.
Thank you.
But his loss birthed something so wonderful. Would you like to talk to us, tell everybody about that?
Absolutely. I actually have two charities, but the first one that I founded in 2011, my son passed away in October 2010 from a motorcycle accident. And we were extremely close, like super, super close. We had gotten to the point where my son had graduated college, and you know how you go through the teenage years battling, and then finally they come into their own, and that's where he was
Mm.
at. And we were just extremely
Yeah.
close. So yeah, that was a hard one for me. But I knew the day that my son passed away, we had just got done having like a 45-minute conversation before we hung up, and that was our last conversation. Little did I know,
Mm.
but and we had talked about a lot of stuff that he had planned on going back and go to law school or different things that he had planned. We had literally talked about his whole plan during that 45-minute conversation, but he lived his life the way he wanted to live it, and as I look back over his life, I saw that he did things to help people. He was happy, and he was always telling me, Mom, you need to make yourself happy first, because he saw me as a when he was a child, he was saying that doing so much for other people, but I didn't see it. You know how they said kids can see stuff a lot of times
Mm-hmm.
you don't even see. But I just remember him saying that. So as soon as that happened, I knew I would need therapy, for that for sure, because I'm like, I'm not even going to try to do this, because I was the first one in my family to lose somebody. My mom, I'm one of 13. All of us are still here.
Wow.
So I couldn't
Wow.
for any kind of guidance like that. But I knew I would need therapy. And I got into grief counseling, and maybe a year and a half later, it started to help me. And I'm still in a grief support group today with moms. We've been in this group for a while, and sadly, it grows every year because somebody meets another mom, and we bring them in, and go out to eat once a month, and you just have another mom that you can relate to and talk to, and it's been very, very helpful. But yeah, so I think about my son every day, but I do know that he's happy with what I'm doing, because I am finally living my purposes and walking, in what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm not putting other people wants and needs ahead of my wants and needs anymore. I love
Right.
my family, I love people, but at a certain point, you do have to realize that
Mm.
your health and your, mental stability comes first, and then you can help other people, but you can't do anything without your own, it's like put your own oxygen mask on first.
Mm-hmm. So, what's the name of your charity? Your first one.
The first one is Dougie's Kids. We called my son Dougie. That was his nickname. His name was Bobby, but we called him Dougie his whole life. So it's Dougie's Kids, and then my charity is Cadori Helping Hands.
Okay. So, what does Dougie's Kids do for the community?
Dougie's Kids, a couple times a year, we do things for the schools. We give computers, tablets. We give out scholarships. Last year, we didn't do much because of the pandemic, but every year we usually give a couple scholarships out for college to let his legacy live on. And then throughout the year, we help other kids and communities with different school supplies. Like before school start, we usually go to the shelters and give out a lot of backpacks filled with school supplies to kids who are living in shelters and stuff like that.
Okay. And then Cadori's Helping Hands. What does that one do?
I formed that charity in July 2017, about a month before Hurricane Harvey hit. So when Hurricane Harvey hit, the next supplies like water, food, diapers for single moms. And so we mostly focus on helping the homeless and people with low incomes, but we also do a lot with women. Like we give every year to a breast cancer organization that's local, the Rose. And then we also help the local and national domestic violence shelters. And then this past year, I did a lot of stuff with the anti-bullying, anti-suicide campaign. So yeah, we do a lot of different things, but mostly homeless and domestic violence is what we mostly focus on.
Okay. Okay. And so, how can people get in touch with to donate to either of the charities?
Okay, I think everything is on my main page, Cadori.net, Cadori.net. If you go there and hit enter site, you'll see all the tabs for everything I have. But if you just want to go to my charity, Cadori Helping Hands, you go to CadoriHelpingHands.com. But Cadori.net houses all the different things that I have. My book, I have I Love Me hoodies to, help promote self-love, self-care. We're doing a bunch of stuff coming this year with anti-bullying, because I think when kids know to love themselves, then you don't care what the other kids are saying. You focus more on you and what you have to offer. Because, the bullying is really bad. These kids are being bullied and a lot of them are taking their own lives. So it's important to, if they don't come from an environment that teach them self-love, to do things like that. And so when you put on a hoodie or a t-shirt, I love me. Hey, you look at it, I love me. You're repeating to yourself. So the more you repeat things like that, if you don't believe it, you will believe it.
Okay, and it is CADORI.net.
Yes, that's my
I've
main.
got it. I have it scrolling at the bottom of the page. So just
Yes.
wanted to make just wanted to
Yeah.
make sure that it
That's
was
good.
correct.
Yes.
Um, so no. So what do you have coming up next? What's
Oh,
next for you?
Oh, well, since things are opening back up, I have a ton of things coming up. Right now, I have 3 more series on Instagram Live every Monday. I was doing an 8-part series with Trina Braxton on a book chat. So at 5:30 p.m. Eastern every Monday, she and I are on her page talking about a different chapter in my book. So we have 3 more of those every Monday. And then after that, I'm doing a book tour that starts in June. My hometown is Birmingham, Alabama, so it's starting there, and I'll be going to, I think we have 10 cities lined up right now to go in person, and it'll also be a virtual book thing as well. While we're doing that, we'll do a Zoom link where people can pay and join in Zoom if they can't come in person. But the book tour is the next thing that I have.
Okay. Any new books that are coming? You want to
Uh,
share
no,
a little bit?
well, I have a compilation with
Okay.
you.
Oh,
Uh,
yes,
we have a
yes, yeah.
compilation coming, so whatever you want to share about that, I don't know how that tour is going to go, but I'm also involved with several other women of Black women writing a book to empower us and speaking from our voice of what we've experienced and what we've encountered, being a Black woman.
Yes, but outside of that, no other, you're not writing any additional books that you're hoping to publish?
Well, what I do have that will be coming out in about 2 weeks is a workbook, because what I found is that the people that have read this book and came back to me, they said that it was a therapy book and it was healing. So many people have said that. And I had a few actually say, hey, you need to do a workbook with this. So I have a workbook that's coming out where each chapter people can go back and, self-reflect and answer the questions. And then in the back of the workbook is a huge journal where people can journal their very important. People don't understand how important journaling is, but when you're going through any type of healing, just writing down your thoughts and ideas, it really helps you because you're getting them out of your system. So journaling is very important.
Okay. Well, I'm going to be looking forward to this journal that's coming out because
Yes.
this is going to go with the book, right?
Yes, it will be with the book,
Okay.
so you'll be able to buy the book separate, or I'll have a package offer where if you buy both of them together, it'll be a certain, price, like a discounted price.
Oh, well, I already have the book. It's sitting right there on my on
Yeah.
my bookshelf. I
Yeah. Thank you.
already have the book.
Oh, okay. So, everything's opening up. Were you able to do your charity walk this
I
year?
wasn't able to do the charity walk because we were trying to get it together, and in the city they just were, with the mask and all that, we just couldn't get it off. So that will be going for next year.
Okay, okay. So tell everybody how they can connect with you, Miss Cadori,
Yes. All,
outside of your website.
okay. All of my social media handles is at Cadori Brand, CADORIBRAND. And then if you ever want to email me, it's CadoriBrand@gmail.com.
All right. Thank you so much for coming by and just having a conversation with us. Definitely happy Mother's Day to you early. Do you have
Yes.
plans? Do you have
Happy Mother's
plans?
Day to you all as well.
Thank
I don't have any. Well, yes, I do. One of my friends here, she won some tickets last week to see Genuine in concert. I think he and Adina Howard and somebody else is coming, and then she bought backstage passes. So we're gonna go back.
Oh,
We're gonna go backstage and meet him. So yeah, I'm gonna be.
Oh, excuse y'all.
Yeah.
right. That's going to be nice. Is that on Saturday or is that on
Sunday.
Sunday?
It's on Mother's
Okay.
Day. Yeah, at
Oh,
30. Yeah.
so what do your kids have to say about that?
Nothing. They don't have nothing to say.
Right.
Said it's
She's
Mother's Day.
grown.
I'm all the way grown.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much for coming and joining us for a little while today. And I'm sorry you didn't get a chance to be on with our other co-host who's in Vegas now. She
Oh,
flew this morning for Vegas when we weren't able to,
yeah. Yeah.
podcast yesterday. But she wanted to be here. She says hello, and she also says it's hot out in Vegas. So,
It is.
uh, well, yeah, I haven't been out to Vegas at all in a minute.
I
It's
was
been a
out there
while.
2 weeks ago. I was just out there about 2 weeks ago for a business conference. Yeah.
Okay, and it was hot then.
Hot then too. Yeah.
See, I got my still wearing Tampa tan. Got
Yeah.
my Tampa tan, my
Yeah.
Tampa tan going on. So yeah, I don't want no more heat right now. It's
Yeah.
actually really cool here in the DC metro area.
Oh, is it? Oh, wow. I used to live up there. I lived there for a long time out by Bel Air.
Okay, yeah,
I worked.
Okay, so you're immune to the bipolar weather then.
Oh, yeah. I used to work
yeah.
at Johns Hopkins and University of Maryland shock trauma.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much again, and we're gonna have you back once to
Please,
talk about your book and then how your tour went. We're
please.
gonna definitely have to have you back.
Yes. I appreciate you all. I hope y'all have a wonderful Mother's Day.
You as
Thank
well.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
You
you.
too. All right. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Oh, she was so amazing. What are you doing for Mother's Day?
I don't want to do anything. My sisters are trying to force me to do stuff. I'm like, I don't want to. I just don't want to. But they want to take my mom and I think my other sister out and possibly do like a seafood thing at the park and stuff like that. So that's probably what we're doing. But I honestly just don't want to do anything. I want the kids to be with their dad, and I just want to lay around. People don't understand. My brain, I'm just like, I don't want to think for anybody. I don't want to just think for anybody. Take the children and just let me sleep.
Mm-mm-mm. That's a daggone shame. I am hosting a Mother's Day brunch with my sisters and my mom who is coming here.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna be tired by Monday. But that's gonna
I'm
be really
sure.
nice. It's gonna be really,
And the
really
thing
nice. I'm
too,
looking
I see
forward
my
to it.
family all the time, so that's why I'm like, look, I don't want to do anything. Y'all always at my house. I can. I no. This is for people who don't see their family, whose kids are old enough to do things for them. My oldest, he'll be 19 this year, and so he can. But I'm like, look, I still got four that are in school and that require a lot of jacking up and attention, and
You
I don't
said,
know.
hold up, wait, whoa, 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 pump your brakes. You just said some of them require some jacking up.
My 13 and my 11-year-old.
You said some jacking up though. Okay.
Yeah, like get your butt up and get in class. I have to fight with them every day.
Oh
I'm
Lord,
like,
yeah,
y'all know y'all supposed to be
you
in
need
class
you a
every day.
break. You need you a break.
Thank you. Like people don't understand. I'm like, I just don't even just leave me alone.
So you'll have hopefully a Mother's Day just decompressing by yourself.
I doubt it because my sister's gonna make me go, and it's gonna be fine. I'm gonna enjoy it, but I would rather just not have to do anything.
Oh, well, I'm excited about my family coming. I'm catering some, I'm cooking some, but my mom who's on here also knows I love to cook. So I'm
I
I'm really
heard.
yeah, I'm really excited just about that.
That's
I
good.
need
I know y'all gonna have a good time. That's gonna be so nice.
I know I need to cook. I need to get dinner going tonight. I am making Philly cheesesteak egg rolls. That's what I'm cooking for dinner tonight. And you're
That's good.
yeah. Yep, that's what I'm making. So, where can people follow you at and connect with you?
You can follow me on Facebook at the Blue Phoenix and on Instagram at the Blue Phoenix Hills.
Okay, and for me, you can follow me at IAMDRPGURLEY. I am Dr. P. Gurley. For the Herspiration brand, you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Herspiration Happy Hour. And I always mess this one up on Twitter at Herspiration HH because the daggone name is too damn long. So so definitely tune in. And this is not our regular time, so we do appreciate you all coming and hanging out for a little bit with us. Cadori had lost power yesterday, and we wanted to make sure to have her on. And while we would have normally have went ahead and filmed, we wouldn't be able to have her back on for a while because we have a lineup of guests that are coming And still coming, so we really do love that people are wanting to be a part of this platform. And we love being able to interact with you all too. That's the other part, is that we can see all of the comments and be more proactive about interacting with everybody. If you would like to be on the show, then, or the podcast show, whatever it is, it's a little bit of,
Same thing.
it's a little bit of both now, because we're live and we have it on. You can always catch up on past episodes on our YouTube channel, Herspiration Happy Hour. And I just lost train of thought. Oh, I was going to say, if you want to be on the show,
and reach out to us at herspirationhappyhour@gmail.com.
That's correct. Yes. I've managed so many emails. I forget, but see, you pick up all of the emails and stuff now. So definitely get on and just send a request. We would definitely love to have you on for some conversation. And if we don't have
and please send your bio and your picture.
Oh, yeah.
If not, we're going to ask for it. Okay.
You're going to ask for it, because
I'm going to ask for it.
I also needed to do the promos. It's a big team effort here. So we thank you so much for coming and hanging out. Cortina, we can't wait to have you back, but be safe on your travels out there.
I know, Cortina.
And a happy Mother's Day to every mother, auntie, any woman out here that's making an impact. Yes, grandmothers. Happy Mother's Day to all of you. You're so precious. And for anyone who has the misfortune of not being able to celebrate with their mom, condolences, and our hearts go out to each and every one of you. I'm hoping that everybody has a phenomenal weekend celebrating or having time to yourself.
Either way,
however
that's a celebration too.
Yes, definitely. But until the next time, y'all, be safe and have fun.
Cheers.
Cheers.